So right today, I break down the 45-minute session into about 3 topics. And number 1 is that why we are even look into a opportunity. And number 2 is that what is market America? Is that something that worthwhile for me to look into or to try it, or maybe to put my full force onto it? And number 3 is that how do I do it? Do they provide a system? What is the step? So the first thing is that we have to kind of determine that. Right now, it's in the COVID-19, and it affects a lot of business. And for some, it might be more severe, and for the other, it might be, well, just somehow manage it. So the hardship, it kind of impacts different people differently. But one thing, I like this sentence a lot: hardship often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destiny. So tonight, if you're a guest, you never know, tonight might be the turning point of your life. And that was about 18 years ago. I make that decision and go to a presentation, and that night changed my life. And so we have to ask ourselves, why do we even look into this business? And I like this sentence a lot. The point is not how much money you make right now, but in the next 10 years, are you still making money because using your physical strength, you're trading your time, your ability, education, background, or skill set? Or maybe by then you have able to leverage a system and work with a team. Because we understand as we get older, we tend to get more sick or would get tired and so on and so forth. So if you are straightly trading time for money, that means someday you're going to be bumped into a situation. So maybe we should do a reality check. Let's say if 0, it is your current situation. Is there any room to improve? Or hopefully you don't go downhill and go to the minus sign. Or let's take a look at it. Well, do we have any room to improve? For example, we work less, or maybe less workload, or maybe less stress. How about like work at home? I don't have to travel. Well, right now, everybody's in lockdown. So probably a portion of you are working at home just like we do. And can you maintain that for the rest of your career? Or how about more money for the family, and more time and more money, early retirement? And that's some of the way that we can improve our lifestyle. But unfortunately, a lot of these areas that we want to improve, it has something to do with time, and it has something to do with money. And so what are the way out? Continue to work for somebody, or maybe start your own business as a self-employed. Or maybe you create your own corporation and with 500 employees and more, or maybe you have enough money to invest. And I remember when I started this business, and it was the very first time I was exposed to this called cash flow quadrant, and which the author Robert Kiyosaki says that no matter what you do in the world, that the way you make money is coming from 4 different areas. But unfortunately, if you make your money on the left-hand side, which is that either you work for somebody or you work for yourself, you're pretty much trading time for money. Even though you're a doctor, engineer, accountant, a lawyer, you still work for money. But on the right-hand side is different. Because why? Because the people who's on the right-hand side, they are leveraging a system. Why system is so important? If you got a pen and paper, you definitely want to write down this. And because system can save ourselves stress, time, energy, and money. That's why when you look at all the billionaire or multi-millionaires, they don't really have to go to work, or maybe if they choose to work hard, they could, but they don't have to work for money because they already have a system to leverage that they have other people or the money working for them. So that's the important part. And so quite honestly, if today and you are a guest and you're kind of wondering, why do I have to look into this opportunity? This particular PowerPoint is something that you want to ask yourself. because the structure of income, if they're different, it has a humongous result on the way your lifestyle is. So if you somehow obtain passive income, and then basically the system work for you, you don't have to work for money, and you can have your own lifestyle. But if you are relying on active income, you trade time for money, well, pretty much that the time you stop working, the money stop coming in. That's definitely, you don't want to bump in to this situation. And so nowadays they have a saying that you can have only one job, but you cannot have only one source of income. So you definitely want to somehow obtain a passive income. So since system is so important, how can you leverage a system? Well, for some people, they are great. They are the best in the world. They are the richest in the world. But there's only a few in the world, right? And for some people, they have their life saving and they want to buy a franchise. They can leverage a system of a proven system of a franchise, but it costs a lot of money. I remember at the time I was trying to leave my photo industry and I contact McDonald's and get the package. It was 1.5 million to start with, and they assign you a store in the middle of nowhere. And then if you want to get one in the city, it costs you $2-3 million. So normally people don't have that kind of money, not to mention it has to be your own money and the cash is sitting in the bank account for 2 years to prove that that's your own money, right? But of course, there is a much better way, is that you join a system. Somehow you find a system and then you determine this system is already proven that you join the system. So let's take a look at, well, I hope that by now I give you enough reason to look into an opportunity. And if you find out, well, it's not eager, I'm not eager enough to look into, well, definitely talk to the person who brought you to the presentation and you discuss more. And secondly, what we want to look into, why choose market maker? I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of opportunity out there. Well, maybe some people choose to go Bitcoin, but you see the chart is like a roller coaster and you probably get high blood pressure of it, okay? And so why do we have to look at it? Well, in a normal circumstance, passive income is reserved for the super rich and the elite class in the society. I mean, I don't know any of you that before looking into shop.com or before you join shop.com, you know anybody already getting passive income. Well, maybe a very few that people have a super rich and they own a factory and they buy a bunch of apartments, but very, very few. For myself, I have never heard of anybody like this before I joined shop.com. And so for our average person like us, and normally we don't even touch residual income, but with Market America shop.com, because it has a system in place, so it kind of bridges the gap for average person to be able to learn and do and master and go into obtain a passive income. And so the system not only gives us a MPCP, what is called a compensation plan, to convert our spending into commission and give us the tool to work on. But more importantly, it gives us a GMTSS, it's called Global Meeting, Training, and Seminar System, to change our mind. For average person, we change into a rich person's mind. Because what you find out that a lot of time people don't have money is not what they don't have money on their pocket, is that they don't have the proper knowledge on their mind. So marketshop.com gives us a very, very good education system to change our mind to be a rich person or to be somebody it's have the wealth. So if you kind of understand, especially for the person who's already joined the business, we keep saying that this particular business is that changing from a 45-year plan to a 2 to 3 year plan. And that's the whole reason we want to come in, because we work as hard as we can in that 2 to 3 years to obtain what we can't even obtain in a 45-year, which is the passive income. And so for people that they have look at the business a couple times, and that might catch their mind or their attention, because this business is a compressed success. So for average person, they've been able to participate into the system, be able to get wealth or get passive income. But a lot of time, people only hearing or seeing the good thing, or maybe what they want, but they forgot it does take time, money, energy, and sweat equity to put into the 2 to 3 years and before you get the outcome. And so a lot of time, people might come in and they only expect a 2 to 3 year. They might think that I can wait 2 to 3 years. And maybe people say, I join for 2 to 3 years. No, it doesn't. It does take hard work, sweat equity. So when you come in, you have to be able to handle all the challenges. What kind of challenge? Well, you have your job, you have your family, you have your church to go to. All of a sudden, you got a 2 to 3 year plan. It requires 8 to 15 hours. How can you come up with the 8 to 15 hours? Well, you probably sleep less. You give up a lot of leisure. But some people don't. Some people said, well, Monday to Thursday night, I'm so tired when I come home. And Friday, well, it's football time. Or Sunday, Saturday, no family time. Sunday is church time, so I have no time to build. It does require sweat equity and time. So once you've been able to handle the challenges within that 2 to 3 years, you may be able to obtain that passive income. So you have to fully understand that, and instead of just listen to the good part 2 to 3 years and you join, how come I don't make money in 2 to 3 years? No, it doesn't happen that way. And also, secondly, we look into this particular company in 5 different areas and see if something that worthwhile for you to invest. Okay, and there is in networking industry, there is a golden rule, 5 golden rule to screen a company if it's a company worthwhile to pick up. Okay, and first is the company, product, compensation plan, and training and timing. We'll look into one by one. So I love the mission statement of shop.com, which marketamerica.shop.com provides a system for average person like you and me wanted to become an entrepreneur, to create ongoing income and become financially independent while providing consumers worldwide with a better way to shop. So it's a full mouth of a sentence, but if you look at the highlight, it's a system. It's already proven in the last 28 years, and it provides ongoing income and financial independence. If that's what you want, this is the right company for you. And then we look at it, it's already 28 years, financially strong, and also the company is doing 800 million sales a year. And also one thing what I admire a lot is that although it's a privatized company, they don't have to let us know the book, but they choose to. So every year after they order their book, they publish and give it to us. So make sure that we feel comfortable that what kind of company we partner with. Okay, and for the last 28 years, and we're currently operating in 8 different countries, US, Canada, England, Australia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Malaysia. And what is important is that since you are choosing a company that you work with for the next two to 3 years, maybe for the rest of your life, to obtain that passive income, it's very crucial that you pick the right company, financially strong. Are they accredited by the third parties? And that we are very fortunate that we are accredited by BBB, Better Business Bureau. It's a third party to evaluate the trustworthiness, the performance, and the integrity of a company. And not only that, each year, and they award a company for that particular year. To get a Torch Award, we got twice, 2013 and 2018. We are the only company got the award from this company twice. And so it is definitely a company worthwhile that you partner with. And also look at the product. We are a product brokerage company. What is the advantage of product brokerage? We don't have to R&D, develop the product. We don't have to manufacture them. So in the way, we don't have much risk at all. And because we get product from different manufacturers, so we have hundreds of products. Unlike a manufacturer, you're only locked into a certain line of products. And because we are a product broker and we are a marketing firm, and so what we do is that we do market research and then find out what people like and want, and we go out and find manufacturer. And then not only that, if we sell well, we continue to sell them. If it doesn't, we'll just eliminate it. So that's why we always carry the product. It's trendy. Why we have such a bargaining power? It's because we accumulated 6 million customers. So imagine the whole Singapore population is your customer. And so when we go out to look for manufacturer, they definitely want to get our contract, right? And secondly, we are an internet marketing company. And we partner with thousands of companies online in the US. We partner with 4,000 companies. And of the 4,000 companies, pretty much you name it, they are partner with us. So what we do is that we provide a one-stop shop, shop.com. Of course, in different countries, you got the SG.shop.com, my.shop.com, hk.shop.com, and tw.shop.com. Of course, not leaving au.shop.com. So all these shop.com company, these website, we partner with the local company providing with the online products for people to shop. And then we also have Shop Local. Currently in US, we have 20,000 merchants, physical merchants are partnered with us. Some of them are McDonald's, Wendy's, and Subways, and so on and so forth. So what we are creating, a lot of time when we talk to people, they are focusing on what kind of product you produce. We are not just focusing on product itself. We are actually providing a way of life. Whatever people buy, we provide in our platform. And so the shopping annuity, it's definitely the way of the future, and it's what we do. And the thirdly is the compensation plan. It's very important that you put your time, your work, you get compensated fairly. And so 28 years ago, the founder and CEO, J.R. Ridinger, created the binomial system. And the binomial system is, back then, it was just like blow everybody's mind. So from now on, it's pretty much a trend. And so what we do is that we build 2 sales organizations. If somebody says that I can't build too much, well, don't even look into networking industry, because all the other company requires more. And it infinitively accrue your BV and IBV, and people and BV you can place, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to be spending too much time on that. And so because of the compensation plan, and then as a investor, we invest our time and effort into the business, and to exchange for passive income, we look at 3 different areas. No matter what you do, what kind of venture you want to join into, pretty much these 3 areas you look into. Number 1 is that how much investment I have to invest in. And number 2, how much risk I have to bear. Number 3, what kind of return I'm getting. Okay, well, take a look at the investment. Now, it takes more or less like 1,000. Why I don't say it's 450? Well, because it does take a little bit more than that, although the starting package is about 450. But I mean, you have to provide an education fund, and sometimes you're going on to out of the area training, and you might have to invest into some gadget and tools to help you to do this business. So it does take some investment. And also you got a monthly overhead, about 200 to 300, including the, I will say, training, for example, our convention or the world conference and so on and so forth. So some people might say, wow, I still have to put investment. Well, any business, you have to put investment. I remember when I have my first store in Orange County, California, it's a 1,000 square foot of Photoshop. It cost me $13,000 overhead, not even paying myself. It does take money to make money. And actually, if you are looking at it as a business standpoint, the investment, it's very small in terms of doing a business, not only so that you got passive income and so on and so forth. More importantly, you have to put your time into it. It's very important. Anything worthwhile doing, it does take time. Not only take time to build it, and it takes time to wait for the result. It's not something that you put in and get result right away, and that's called gambling. And this is not, it's a business. It does take time to build. In the US, if you start a corporation, if you lose money for the first 5 years, you're absolutely normal. But of course, in our business, you probably get break even in 5 weeks if you wanted to. There is a way to help you to do that, right? But you have to willing to learn. And this business, especially for the first 3 to 6 months, it is learning and doing. After work, it's doing and learning. And so you have to willing to go to outstate training. How much the risk you have to bear? I don't know what gauge that you gauge that risk. For me, there is none. If you think that kind of investment you put in and that kind of time you put in, to you, if it's a risk, forget it. Don't even look into business, because all other business, it takes a lot more investment and bear with a lot more risk than this. So for myself, I said there is no risk. And some says, well, if you don't make it and you lose your time, yeah, time goes by anyway. If you don't do this business, 2 to 3 years, still 2 to 3 years, okay? What about the return? Well, a lot of people, of course, understand that most people come into the business and look for the money first. We want to make additional income. I want to retire early and so on and so forth. But once you come in, you'll find out, oh my gosh, a lot more than money that we can get from this business. The first thing is that self-growth, self-improvement. And that's something it's very hard to get when you go out there and work for somebody. And because anywhere out there when you work on a job, it's like a jungle. Everybody beating other people, right? In this particular business, we have so much love and people helping people. And so you get self-growth. Of course, because of a good product, you can get good health and good wealth. Additional income, definitely you will get. And if you're a good retailer, and you can make the retail profit just upfront immediately. And of course, it's a backup plan. I don't know, the COVID-19 affects how many people online. For ourselves, it doesn't even affect a bit. Fortunately, we started business before we needed it. So we have a backup plan, okay? And also financial freedom, time freedom, so on and so forth. That's definitely what we want. And number 4 is the training. Why training is so important? A lot of the people, when they look at our compensation plan, they only focusing on the money side, which is the compensation plan, the management performance compensation plan. But you have to understand, in order to have the compensation plan to work for you, you have the people, you have the BV comes in, you have to learn how to do it. And so the GMTS, the Global Meeting Training and Seminar System, comes first before the money comes next. And so once you come into this business, you definitely needed to put yourself into the system and to learn what the standardized training, the systemized, and everybody does the same thing to create a residual effect in your organization. So this particular system is the backbone of our system or our business, and also it is the system that we can leverage. Anybody have kids? Does your kid listen to you? No, they don't. They listen to teacher, they listen to even your friend, but they don't listen to you. Why? Human nature. And so that's the same thing that when you lead a team organization, a lot of time we put them into the GMTSS to listen to the other trainer instead of we keep talking, right? And it's definitely duplicatable. For instance, in my organization, I spread into 8 different countries. If everybody wants me to learn from me, or once my time, I'll be dead. That's not a passive income. And so because of the system, every partner, they can look for the local resources to plug in. And so I got the time freedom, or everybody for that matter can get time freedom in the future. And so if you're interested, you definitely want to read this book or listen to this audio. It's a very short, half an hour audio. It's saying the business model for the 21st century, and which he's saying that if you're focusing on product or focusing on the company, and that's not really the crucial point of joining that particular company or picking that company, is that company's education system can teach you from the left-hand side as an employee or self-employed to a corporation or big business owner. That is the company you want to go in. That is our GMTSS. And lastly is the timing, okay? And if a company is too young, it's only like 5 years or less, it's very risky. Unless you're young and you said, I have a lot of time to make mistake, it's okay. But if you really want to start a business and put a few year effort into it and get passive income forever as a residual income, those companies are very risky because they don't even know that if they survive. If the company from 6 to 10 years old, they haven't proved yet. The other day I went online and trying to find out Amazon, when they started in 1993, only 20 some odd years later, they are starting to show improvement and making money. Same thing with Apple, same thing with Tesla. So it does take more than 10 years to build the foundation, and then if they make the right decision, they strive. And so, and if a company from 10 years to 30 years, it's probably good timing. And if anything over that, it would be kind of like maybe old model. But you might say, well, shop.com is already 28. Is that going into the old model? But keep in mind, this survey is for network marketing company. But today, we're not a network marketing anymore. We are an online retailer. And so we went out of, although we started as a networking company in the networking industry, but we continue to improve. And today we are in the trend. So that's why we did not get eliminated. Not only so, we start to, continue to strive and to a new business model. And apparently, if you chose shop.com, you're already in, you definitely chose the right company. And so that's one timing on the company. And the other timing is the environment. Is the environment helping you? Of course, for a lot of people, if you have traditional business or have a job, this environment is definitely hurting you. But unfortunately, the type of business we are in, and either the economic downturn, I remember at 2008, we did great. And we signed up a lot of people because once they hit a situation, they become extra open-minded. And so right now is a perfect timing, or maybe in a pandemic or epidemic. People are nervous and people are trying to get all the solutions. Of course, we got very good health products, right? And also, it's definitely an opportunity. So you have to let a lot of people know that what you have on hand. Okay, next we'll talk about, so we agree, we want to do something about our future. And now it seems marketamericaShop.com looks very good. How do I do it? And fortunately, this company has been able to continue to grow for 28 years for a reason. So we have systems. So the first one you definitely have to master is the basic 5. For guests here, you probably don't know what that basic 5 is, and we'll talk a little bit more, but you definitely want to sit down with the person who invite you to come to this online presentation to get more detail. And so the basic 5 is almost like our DNA, our fingerprint. And that's the core value of our business. And the second one is the Master UFO program that is a proven business system. And then the SAMM, Shopping Annuity Master Member, is an accelerator to help you to complete the 2 to 3 year plan faster. And of course, right now we get to our era, which basically social media can help us to do this business no matter locally, internationally. It's gone viral. Just like today's presentation, I don't know who put that flyers out and then ended up people in all different countries that can come into it, because that's the power of social media. Okay, and take a look at basic 5. And the 5 fundamental to do this business is that the attitude and knowledge, goal and goal statement, retailing, suggest our product to the end consumers, prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring, suggest this business opportunity to other people who's looking for opportunity, and also, of course, follow up and ABC pattern, which is duplication. So because of this system, we can always track the activity that we are doing. If we are online, are they result producing activities? So measure, monitor, adjust, and control the progress is what this basic 5 is all about. And setting priority to do what is result producing activity, that's very important. And secondly, we talk about the master UFO and SAMM. It's a full different, complete program to prove that if you were to do it that way, the master UFO program, and you would be able to make it into 2 to 3 year plan. I remember when we first came in, a lot of people challenged us that, how can you guarantee that I can make it into 2 years? Well, I says, well, I don't know what you do. Do you just sign up and do you put 8 to 15 hours? So if you don't have a concrete plan and to continue doing to 2 to 3 year plan, I don't know how likely your chance is. And so fortunately, Market America has a university to done a survey for us and finding all those people on the top, what actually do they do to make it on top? And so it comes into the 2 to 3 year plan, and basically is that you take the classes, the trainings, necessary training on every quarters, and you do the result producing activity or certain amount continuously, and suggest the business opportunity to people. I'm not going to go into detail, but for the UFO, the people who's already in the system, you know what am I talking about. So continue doing and master the master UFO program on the 2 to 3 year plan and duplicate in your organization. You'll be able to make it on one BDC, which is making about $100,000 a year in the next 2 to 3 years. And the SAMM basically is an accelerator, because if you and leading by example and leading your organization and their customers changing their buying habit and coming to shop.com to buy anything that they want to buy instead of going elsewhere that they don't give any reward. And so you kind of funnel all your consumption into shop.com, and so your income would complete this 2 to 3 year plan much more secure and much more faster. And so what we are actually doing is that we're creating a culture of changing your buying habit, convert spending into earning. It's a culture. And so once that culture is developed in your organization, well, that's how the BV and IBV coming from. It's because everybody doing it, they don't even have to think. It's automatic. And lastly, we talk about social media, because social media these days, and if you don't involve with social media, you're probably, people would call you dinosaur, okay? And so we leveraging the social media to brand yourself online, because right now, I mean, the world is flat. Everybody have equal opportunity, equal the playing field. And so if you don't get into social media, your circle is so small, so you don't really know what's out there, right? And so because what you do is that you're branding yourself, so don't be weird. Whatever you post, you have to be very, very careful, because sometimes early in the morning, I get up and look at somebody's post and they put a black background and said, I feel sad today. I don't know why you put that on the Facebook. I mean, why I want to be a friend with somebody so down, so negative, and so on and so forth? No, you don't. You put some motivational quotes, and you discuss what you do in life and what do you do today interesting to get people attracted to you. That's what you want to do. And so social media should be social. And so don't just talk about your product and your business. And so you're branding yourself, your lifestyle, family, interests. So what you do is that you post whatever on IG, on Facebook, or Line, WhatsApp. You put 80% personal, telling your stories and why you're so happy, even though in the lockdown, because you got a shop.com business and you're still as busy, your organization grow, your income is growing, and the lifestyle. And then 20% talk about your business. And if you find you have a good product to introduce to people and so on and so forth, you post it. And so to get people's attention, but keep it in mind, it's 20% versus 80%. You're still being you. We are the representative of our business. And in that, I have 3 cases to share with you. 3 years ago, when I go to Malaysia, and I don't know anybody in Malaysia, so what I do is that I go online to add people from Malaysia. And on Facebook, you can see their profile, where they live, before you add them, right? So I add this person, and then after I add him, he accepted me. I look at it, oh, he's a pastor. So I sent him a private message. I said, well, I'm coming into your area in 2 to 3 weeks, and do you mind if I come to your church to go to the service? He says, welcome. So I went there and shake hands with him and went through the worship, and then he introduced me to another event and met a lot of entrepreneurs from his church. And so after we know each other, and then we talk about, and he said, well, what your business look like? And I explained a little bit. He says, well, that's very interesting. Before I became a pastor, but actually I managed my family's bakery business. And apparently it was very good, right? And so we chit and chat and so on and so forth. And then I tell him that, well, we just came in to Malaysia and it's going so fast and keep signing people on. So I just let him know that if you are consider the business, you might want to come in. He says, yeah, I come in. So I don't know, okay. So he just came in. After he came in, when we understand we have a 28-day rule to take the NUOT, and because he is in the far end of Malaysia in Kota Kinabalu, and so he was not managed to come to my training, which is within 28 days. He says, what can I do? I said, well, you have to fly 2.5 hours to Kuala Lumpur. And then the next day he told me that, oh, I bought the airline tickets. He took off at 5 o'clock in the morning, get to KL, take the class 3 hours, and take another 3 hours back. So on the same day, he go back and forth. So people have that kind of desire, but we can look for it through Facebook. There are a lot of people out there. And the other day, I so happened to step on the scale, and it says I'm 36. And so I couldn't resist to take a picture and take the product of OPC3. I said, well, by accident, I used antioxidant 17 years ago. And now not only I freeze my age, I actually reverse my age. So I put it onto Facebook, and then one person and saying that, oh, is this product available in Hong Kong? I said, yeah, I just private messaged him and sent the link. And he said, are you coming to Hong Kong anytime soon? I said, in about 2 weeks. She says, how about you come, we met, and I got the product from you. So when I go to Hong Kong, and she took me to the highest restaurant in Hong Kong, which is 101 level. And so after lunch, and we go get the product, and then within the first week, she went into 3 different presentation. At the end of the 3rd one, she joined, and we went back to the same restaurant and signed her up right on the spot. It's within 2 to 3 weeks, and there is so much opportunity. And one more, which is the person is actually in this meeting right now. And it was the beginning of March. I post this saying that pandemic is affecting a lot of people's businesses and also the lifestyle. And I said, well, whoever who's interested to know shop.com and send me a PM. And so this person, he sent me the message saying that I'm interested, contact me. And so I contact him, and actually we have twice of Zoom meeting and a lot of WhatsApp exchange. So within a week, he signed up. And right now, within a month, he already have 3 partners in his organization, and we haven't actually shake hands yet. And so they are in Penang and also in Central Malaysia. And so social media is helping us to do this business. And the end, currently, I'm running a 10-day robotic invitation workshop in Hong Kong. And the day before yesterday, it was the 3rd section we started it. And what we understand, a lot of time, we tell people to send invitation to their friend, and they freak out. And they are so scared about how people look at them, how people reject them, and the feeling was really bad. So ended up, they don't do anything. And so what I created this program is that in 10 days, and what you do is that you come up with a 50 name list. You send out 5 messages every day, regardless of how they respond. And you just follow up, and follow up. Some definitely don't even read it. Some read it, they don't respond. Some respond, say no. Some respond, say, let me take a look at it. And so for the second round of the 10 days, and we also coach our partners how to send invitation and what to send invitation. And that is only one of the sample that they can cut and paste. And ended up, we went through the 10 days. Within the 10 days, we have a total of 376 times, and which is average is about 36 people participated, but we actually sent out 1,008 invitation. But what I look at it, not only the 3 came in the 10 days, but the 186 responded and also went into one-on-one, two-on-one Zoom meetings and HBP and UBP. And so if they continue to follow up this 186 within the next month or 2, it will be a lot more people coming in. So there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of way to expand your business to different areas. And right now, it doesn't even have to be your own area. So in conclusion, it's very important that we keep saying the Market America Shop.com provides us with a winning formula. The formula is like this. Although we are working very hard into the business, you have to constantly come back and find out if the time you're spending, if it's quality time. The time you spend provides result, BV or people. And then your organization growth, if it's duplicatable. Are you the only one working very hard for everybody, or actually everybody knowing their own position and doing what they're supposed to do and creating a duplication effect in your organization? So if you do that and you spend the time with the quality, and definitely it will translate into volume and income. And so keep it in mind that do more work works. If you are doing whatever, it's continue working and produce result, continue doing it. But do less what doesn't. Something that you have done it and try it, it doesn't do anything and doesn't produce the result, change it. Make corrections, adjust. And so that's very important. Lastly, keep going and keep growing. Thank you.